Hello, my name is Ashton and welcome to my little pocket of the internet where today we are talking about something that is a huge deal to young people, and that is social media. Social media is a big deal right now. As much as it's kind of sad to admit, social media is kind of like the main form of communication for young people today. Rather than call people or even talk face to face, sometimes it's easier to just Snapchat or DM somebody, which is a little bit sad, but is the truth. No matter what your opinion is on social media, the fact is that it's kind of taking over our lives. Now, I'm not meaning that in a bad way, although it's not great. It can be beneficial. So today I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of social media and how you can create a perfect balance for it in your life. Now, I'm not saying that I'm perfect and I have nailed this to a T, but I just want to give you guys some advice on how to keep social media safe for yourself. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about today is the struggles that a lot of people have with social media. Some of them you may not even realize are struggles, but I promise you almost all of us deal with them. The first one is how you can kind of get obsessed with it and it can start to like control you. Without even noticing it, a lot of us are completely controlled by social media and our obsession with it, and that is not a good thing at all. It is so easy to let social media take over your whole life. For most young people, social media is their whole life and they don't even notice it. People check it every 5 minutes. Like, that's not even an exaggeration. I find myself doing it. And it is a very hard habit to break, but it's not a good habit to have. When you are subconsciously checking your Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter every 5 minutes during the day, that is not healthy. There are so many other things in life that you should be focusing on rather than your Snapchat streaks, y'all. My point is that we cannot have social media be our number one priority in life and the number one thing that we're thinking about all the time. For Christians, that is so detrimental to your faith. I know most of us spend more time on social media than we do in the presence of the Lord, reading our Bibles, anything. We spend way more time, like at least twice as much time on social media. Do you know what that means? That means you are worshiping your social media, and you can't do that. I know I have done that before and I'm trying so hard to stop, and I encourage all of you to do the same. You will never grow when you are spending twice as much time on social media than you are building your relationship with God. Remember why you were put on this earth. You have a purpose, and that purpose is to glorify God and bring people to Christ, and you are not fulfilling that purpose when you're just posting pictures of yourself because you think you look pretty today. I am not at all saying that it is bad to feel good about yourself or bad to post a selfie every once in a while. That is not at all what I'm saying. What I am saying is that you need to have your priorities in check and realize what is most important to you, and if that's yourself, you're doing something wrong. As Christians, we should always be glorifying God above ourselves. So if you are only posting pictures like, thought I was cute today, and OOTD, what's the point? Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those posts, but what I'm saying is that you need balance. The safe approach to social media is priorities and balance. So today, that's what we're going to be discussing. I'm going to start with why I think social media is dangerous for young people and what we need to do to fix it. Firstly, social media can pull you away from reality. You're constantly getting a false image of everyone you know, especially on Instagram. I don't know anyone other than my grandma who posts pictures without editing them. I promise you, everyone does it. So you're constantly seeing a perfected version of everyone. And as awesome as this is, it's cool to edit your photos, but that's not reality. But the number one distraction that I really want to talk about is Snapchat. Oh, Snapchat. So many things to say. I personally love Snapchat. I think it's super cool and super fun, and honestly a really easy way to communicate with people. It's more fun because you can send pictures to better, you know, like express your emotions, and also it doesn't take up space on your phone like text messages, so that's good too. And it's a fun way to be creative and funny, and I just like it. But it is very dangerous. Not only because things delete and it can cloud your judgment, but also because it is easy to get addicted to. Sadly, the reason that it's so awesome is also the reason that it's so dangerous. It's so easy to communicate back and forth with people all day, and that can be a huge distraction because when all you're thinking about is talking to people on Snapchat, it kind of takes you away from real life and what you're experiencing with people one-on-one. I know sometimes I'll be talking to someone and I get that notification and that's what I start thinking about rather than the person I'm talking to, and wow, is that awful. When you are talking to someone and getting to know them and all you're thinking about is someone else's conversation you're a part of, what's the point of this conversation? If you're already in this one and that's the one you're thinking about, why are you even talking to this person? I'm just saying that we need to be engaged with people rather than constantly thinking about the other conversations we're a part of. Especially most people I know have like 50 streaks or more. Oh my gosh, that stresses me out. Just streaks in general. I'm gonna have my personal unpopular opinion here. Snapchat streaks are the dumbest thing ever invented and I hate them. First of all, so many people, like young people in this generation, have anxiety. It's true. Mental illness is really high in our generation, and Snapchat streaks do not help people with anxiety because they get super anxious about losing them, and like if they see that hourglass start going, it makes them freak out, and that is horrible. I encourage you, if you have anxiety, do not get Snapchat streaks. Don't even worry about it. If you are worried about not being popular or people think you're dumb for not having Snapchat streaks, just take a moment and zone out and think, is this really important? No. Snapchat streaks are stupid, and it's not the end of the world if you don't have 100 of them. Now, if you just like to talk to someone every day because you love them and enjoy talking to them, then that's fine. I think that's great if you have a streak with someone because you love them that much. But let me just be real here. How many of us have a streak with Jesus? I sure break mine all the time. So think about that when you're super worried about talking to the people that you really don't even care about that much every day. Someone else really wants to talk to you every day, and they are much more important than the people that you're never gonna see again. Another reason why social media is dangerous is because it forces you to compare yourself to people. Whether you try to or not, you're going to compare yourself to people. It just happens. It's dangerous for your own perception of yourself and your self-worth and how you value yourself. If you think that you're not as good as everyone else, then you're gonna start to hate yourself, and please don't do that because you are wonderful, you are beautiful. You don't need as many likes as some other girl in school just to validate yourself, okay? You are a creation of God. You are a child of the King. It doesn't matter how many people commented on your picture. You have so much value and you are beyond good enough. You are not worthless and you will never be. Like I said before, everyone edits their pictures. So you cannot compare your lazy day self to someone's best lighting, best outfit, best makeup, and perfectly face-tuned self. It's just not a fair comparison. The Bible says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. God made you and designed you to be perfect in His image. So stop comparing yourself to other people. But also think about this. Every single one of us are designed by God. We are all special to Him. So knowing that, how can you put yourself above someone else or below someone else? We are all equal and we were all made in the image of the Lord. When you start getting more likes or more comments telling you how good you look, it can be easy to start believing it and thinking that you're all that in a bag of chips, when you're not. So just get off your high horse and go encourage someone else instead of thinking you are the best person in the whole world when you are most definitely not. Whew, now that we got all that out of the way, let's talk about why social media is awesome. First of all, social media is great because it gives you a voice. Social media is definitely the easiest way to get a message out there because there's gonna be someone who wants to listen to you. Whether it's just your grandma or a couple hundred people, someone's gonna wanna hear what you have to say, and that is super cool. On the flip side, don't use social media to gossip. Y'all, I know we all want to feel heard, but don't get that from talking bad about other people, okay? That's all I'm gonna say about that. But the next thing that I love about social media is that it is the best way to spread your creativity and express yourself. It's pretty awesome. Whether it's Instagram with like a music page or comedy stuff or photography, obviously. And then there's YouTube. Hello, obviously I like it. Which is a super cool way to show off your creativity through music, or sketches, or comedy, that's the same thing as sketches, or editing, or just talking, any kind of stuff. It's so cool and it's so fun, and I just think it's the best thing in the whole world. All of that to say, social media is super awesome when you use it in the right way and do it safely. So I'm gonna help you guys learn how to safely use social media. I'm not saying I know everything because I am also still working on this, but I think this is some great advice to help you get a hold of your social media and kind of control it to where you're controlling it and it's not controlling you. So the first step, and probably the most important one, is to create boundaries. Don't let yourself get completely obsessed with social media. I've had times where I just stopped using it. I completely deleted the apps for a week or two just to kind of break that addiction that you can have to it sometimes. And without boundaries, it can be really addictive. So rather than having to take giant breaks from it, you can create boundaries to keep yourself from going crazy. I have notifications turned off for all of my social media, so I don't get alerted when people like my pictures, or when I get a Snapchat, or someone mentions me in something, or when I get a comment on YouTube. Nothing. I don't see any of it. I have to go check it. Whereas that does help you from being constantly seeing the stuff. It does make you want to check it over and over again, but I would encourage you not to do that. That's something I'm still working on, is not constantly checking it, because it really is addicting. And guys, that's what you've got to recognize, is when you are addicted to social media, that's where there's a problem. So the boundaries are here to help you not become addicted. Snapchat is the one I struggle with this the most, because I check it a lot because it's like the only way that I can communicate with a lot of my friends from high school, and just, you know, some people that I don't have their numbers. So when I want to talk to some people, I use Snapchat. And so if I am in a conversation with someone, then I'll check Snapchat more. And also, Snapchat is just a fun way to, you know, capture your life. And so I post on my story a lot when I see something funny, or when I think I'm being funny. Sometimes it's not, I don't know.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
But you know, I've tried to check it a lot less. But I would say continually like examine and analyze how much time you're spending on it. So if you are just not watching this video and you're like, wow, I use social media a lot, I don't want to do that. I would say just take a day, write down how many times you check your social media. That will really put things into perspective for you and help you know where to start. So if you check it like 25 times a day, that's probably not good. If it's even more than that, it's really not good. Something that none of you are going to want to do is have accountability. No one really likes being held accountable, honestly. I mean, it's definitely necessary for growth, but nobody really likes it, especially whenever you're not doing stuff right. But I would encourage everyone to find an adult who you really trust, and ask them to keep you accountable on social media. And you may be thinking, adults? Excuse me, I don't have adults follow me on social media. Whoa. That's a problem. If you have adults, like your parents or your family, blocked on social media, you're definitely doing it wrong. Because even without asking someone to hold you accountable, having adults follow you definitely keeps you accountable. You're not gonna post anything inappropriate if your grandma follows you, or your pastor. So I would definitely encourage you to let and encourage adults to follow you, because that will definitely help you. That is pretty much all that I have for you guys, but I just want to leave you with a couple side notes that I just think are super important, and I want you all to just, you know, think about these things. First one, if you're not having fun on social media, you're doing it wrong. Social media should be super fun, and if it's causing you anxiety and making you feel bad about yourself, you're doing it wrong. And you need to go back and watch this video again. And if you're using it to connect with people and make people feel good about themselves and bring people to Jesus, you're definitely doing it right. And one last thing I want to leave you guys with. If you delete a picture because it didn't get enough likes, you really need to rethink your priorities. Because it is not the end of the world for people to not like your picture. It all depends on when you post it, who's on Instagram that day. Instagram has a whole algorithm on there, so like, just because you didn't get enough likes doesn't mean it was a bad picture, or that people didn't care to see it, or they're like, that's dumb, I'm not liking that. Like, that's just not how it works. So if you post a picture and you think it's cool and people don't like it, oh well. The whole point is not for you to impress people. That's not the point. The point is to have fun, have a good time, and connect with people. So if you're doing that, who cares how many likes you get? Right? Right. Exactly. But that really is everything that I have for you guys. I really hope this video was helpful to you guys and really helps you to understand social media in a better way, and I hope it allows you to create the perfect balance between obsession and deletion. You know, there is a way to have fun without completely ruining your life. That was a lot. I know that was a lot. I hope you guys aren't too overwhelmed. But if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and please share this with people. I really would love to see you guys encouraging your friends and kind of rethinking social media for yourselves, because we all need it. But really, that is all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe, because we're very happy here in this family and I would love for you to become one of our lovely friends here. I try my absolute hardest to make videos as often as I can. We all slip up, you know, but I really want to start making videos more, so keep your eyes out for that and subscribe, you know, subscribe so that you can see them. That is everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all.